sorry the answers are already on the study guide, but I'll go over them. The number 1 on your quiz, and some of the quizzes, it may be like number 2, or it may be on a different, at the back. But the first type of question is graphing it. What is the graph? So many of you would probably just take out your graphing calculator. The one on your quiz that's like this, I can tell it has not moved left, right, or up or down, right?
So is that y equals 2x squared?
That says y equals 2x squared. It hasn't moved left, right, up, or down. So I know my vertex is at 0, 0. If you're going to graph on your calculator, which that is what I recommend.
So I put y equals 2x squared in the graph?
Put y equals 2x squared and press graph. And you can tell where it goes. Some of you, I need to pass these worksheets back today. Some of you, not many, but had no points on graphs. You drew a picture. That is not an accurate answer, so I won't even accept it as an answer. Do you see how I have 3 points? And I know exactly what those numbers are. Guess what I need from you? 3 points. If you don't want your points on there, you can do a table. But how do you find your points? Second graph. And we already know the vertex was at 0, 0 because I didn't move it left, right, up, or down.
We came to Europe
Okay, I knew my vertex was 0, 0 because I didn't move left, right, up, or down. So that's how I know, okay, I'm going to start with 0, 0, and then I'm going to pick some points around it.
Do we always start with 0, 0?
No. Well, there will be a problem just like this on your quiz. Yes.
How do you know it doesn't start with 0 or it does?
Okay, if you look,
Because there's points above
this one right here has moved left 2 and down 4.
Okay.
So I would start at -2, -4. That's how you tell where to start. This one has moved left 3 and up 4, so my vertex is going to be where? Left 3 and up 4. That's my starting point. So I would go to my table. I'm about to do that one in a minute, okay? But that's how you know this one didn't move. There's one on your quiz. It starts at 0, 0. And you can also look at your graph, right? Can you tell it starts at 0, 0?
Yes.
Yeah. So when you go to your table, pick 2 points, around 0, 0. Is everybody okay with this? Because I'm struggling to find another way to explain it. We're good? Okay, we're moving on to the next one. On this one, what they do is they say, okay, this is your original function. It starts at 0, 0. This is a quadratic function or a parabola. But down here is the real problem. It says, where does this one move? So what you're going to write.
In parentheses, we move left or right.
Yes, and you'll be able to look at your graph and tell where it moved as well. But you have to write this because first thing it says, how is it translated? That's this part right here. What are you going to say? Left 3 and up 4. Then the other half of the points are going to be actually graphing it. Okay, which I would know. I would just go ahead and go left 3 and up 4 and put my first point. And since there's no slope in front of it, it's an understood 1, I would know that they go over 1 and up 1, and I would draw my parabola. Say you don't know all that. Yeah, you don't know all that, but I kind of want you to learn that. Go to your calculator, and you're doing parentheses. If they have parentheses, then what? You have parentheses.
So if there's nothing in front of it, it's an understood 1.
It's like an understood.
Mine's not.
Well, it doesn't go up 1 and over 1 every time, just that first time. Because then it kind of starts to curve. Okay? But that just tells you, like, your first point from there. Then I'm going to put my +4. Is everybody okay with that?
Yes.
Then I'm going to graph it, and you can tell it has, in fact, moved left 3 and up 4. So I'm going to go to my table, and let me find the one. Oh, there it is, where it says left 3 and up 4, right here. And then there's 2 points around it. And I actually marked the 2 points. Do I need to explain that any other way?
Okay, so.
Yes.
Can you move your calculator?
Yes.
So every time it has like the +3, +4, that's always going to be our starting point that has those two numbers.
Yes. So this one's always opposite. Left 3, up 4. Huh?
We have to do that X.
No, you don't, as long as I can tell what your points are. Okay? Because I have them all listed on mine, and if they don't match, then it'll be, marked off. I just don't want a random picture on the graph. Several people did that on the worksheet. Okay? Just they drew a picture of a parabola on a graph. That's not okay. And in college, they will never accept that. You have to have exact points because it's all done on the computer, or most of it is, and so it'll have to be exact.
Y'all probably calling me.
All right, on this one, they just want the vertex and the axis of symmetry. Again, I'm sorry the answer's already on there. But where do you move?
To the left.
You're gonna
Left
go to
2,
the
down 4. Guess what? That's your vertex. Negative 2, negative 4. So if you look, there's only one of them with that answer. But then it also asked for axis of symmetry. Do y'all remember that's just your x value?
Oh, I don't remember which one's what. That's not good.
Well, it says on
Axis
here,
of
x is
symmetry or
negative 2.
X and then
See, it even says, what's your x? Your y is your max or your min. But you see how this one says it? Yeah? Okay. Everybody good with this?
So if it's plus 2, it's to the left. If it's subtract minus 2,
It would have been to the right. Yeah. It's the opposite when it's in the parentheses. Are we good with the first 3? Let's keep going.
How many is there?
10.
I feel like I'm remembering.
But this is it. I mean, if y'all need to review a few times.
This is all we're doing today.
I'm thinking, I'm not going to teach anything
We
new.
can do news after.
Oh yeah, what I missed yesterday? I felt bad for leaving.
You should have felt bad.
We did three.
Well, I didn't plan on it.
We did 3 last
Oh
night.
yeah, we did a lesson.
No,
It was
it's
kind of
real.
difficult.
His conscience got the best.
Oh
Yeah.
No, we only did 2.
It was horrid.
It was bad. Like
What?
She said 3, we only did
It
2.
was so
Oh, hush. They're being sarcastic. Or lying.
Oh, whoa.
Okay.
Ooh.
What is the maximum and the minimum, the domain and the range?
Can you put min and max up there?
Min
we'll see.
is going up.
No,
max
like how
is
you
going
had
down.
it, and then you had this symbol towards it.
We'll see.
Oh, that's only if you have
Which-
like a graph.
I can tell you without
You don't have a
graphing,
graph.
I have moved down 3.
Yeah.
I have moved down 3. So I can tell you that that's my maximum or minimum. Do y'all understand that? That's your y value. Anyway, but you can graph it and look at it. Let's just graph it, okay? So I'm going to go to y equals and put 2 times x plus 2 squared minus 3. And let's look at this picture.
So it's a min.
Is it a maximum or a minimum? You just look at your picture. It's a minimum.
That's a minimum.
Okay? And where did it go to? It went down 3.
You have a charger?
For what?
One of these computers?
Whoa,
I do
had the
not.
opposite thing.
That I did one day and Reagan left it and I took it back over.
What?
So I promise this time nobody's brought one in here. I put it back in there.
Negative 2x.
So it's a minimum at negative 3. Okay, which what you can do if you don't know that, I know that because where did it say I moved down? Down 3. Okay, so negative 3. That's now another way you can do it is second trace, and we're gonna find the minimum. Do y'all remember this? And you have to go where? To the left and press enter, to the right and press enter,
Yes.
and back to it and press enter. And what does it tell you your y value is? Negative 3. It's a minimum of negative 3.
Oh, I did it wrong.
Your domain is always what?
So you go graph and you go second.
All real numbers.
You're-
Second trace, minimum.
So you can already narrow it down to C or D.
Okay, that's what I got. So when it's like a valley, it's max.
When it's a valley, it's a minimum. Think about
Okay.
when you
I
throw
love
something, think about throwing a ball. That goes up, that's a maximum height.
Okay, and then
So this
second
has to be a
trace
minimum.
Is gonna be
Second
max.
trace, and then pick your max. This one's a minimum, so pick
Negative
minimum.
2, negative.
So it's gonna be.
Oh shoot!
I did. I don't think I did this right.
How do I go back?
Just go back, press graph again. Just go back to your graph.
Second trace.
Huh?
Just press graph again.
I did.
Okay, now press second trace. Yeah, just start over.
Okay, then.
So everybody, if you look at the domain, remember we always said it's all real numbers. A and B don't say just that. So I've already narrowed it down to
Okay,
C
so-
or D. Does everybody see that?
Yes.
That easy. 50-50 chance now.
So it's
And I know it's a
negative.
minimum at negative 3.
I got one.
So I can already tell that it's D.
Did you what?
But it would be a range from negative 3 and up. That's the greater than. Okay, you can just look at your picture. That's all you have to do. Is look at our picture. Any questions? Do I need to
Wait.
explain? Yeah.
Okay, so I got 1.999. So it's negative 2,
For your X. And what'd you get for your Y?
negative 3.
So that's what matters. Your y value is your
But
max or min.
So my y value is always my what?
Max or min.
Okay.
Your
And
x
then-
value was your axis of symmetry.
Symmetry.
And I couldn't
How
remember
do you
that
figure
because
out the,
axis has x in it. I don't know why. That's where my mind goes.
Wait,
But-
range is all real numbers?
No, domain is always all real numbers. It's always all the x values. Your range is
How do you tell that?
when it's a minimum, it's going up, so it's greater than -3, greater than or equal to -3.
Okay, so when it's a max, it's y is less than.
So when it's a max, yeah. But y'all, you can already tell it's a minimum at -3 and domain's all real numbers. You've already narrowed it down to where it has to be that answer. Okay? All right.
I think this is the only one I may struggle with.
Now, this one, I'm trying to hide the answers. There's some of it. Okay. What steps transform that graph? What all has happened? Can y'all see it on that graph?
What graph?
This one right here. What all did we do to go from the original
Left 3
left 3,
and
Up
up 5,
and flip.
and you flipped it? It goes down. Okay, do y'all understand that?
No.
If you need to graph it to see what happens, the negative out
Put
front,
that in.
yeah, but you have to explain that. So it's
Wait, what do you mean by the flip? 'Cause
the
it's
negative
in
sign
parentheses.
out front. So instead of going up, what is it going to do? It's going down. So it's a maximum. So what they say is reflected or flipped, left 3 and up 5.
Wait, I don't understand.
looks
How
like
do you know that
this.
you flip it?
Because it has a negative out front.
Okay, so if it has a negative in front, you're just gonna
It's
put.
every time. So graph it though. Like here's your normal graph. If you graph one and you put a negative out front, which is what I'm going to do, look at that. What happened? It flipped
becomes
it.
a max.
I gotta do it. I think I screwed up.
Yeah, they're on that little cart at the bottom.
Okay, mine looks like this.
So you would say it flipped it, it moved it to the left 3 and up 5, which I'm hoping you can kind of do
Mine
without
looks
graphing
like
it.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then
It should be left 3 and up 5.
I typed in the negative parentheses x plus 3 squared plus 5.
Okay, negative parentheses x plus 3 parentheses squared plus 5.
Negative.
It should look like that.
Oh yeah, that's what it looks like.
So it's moved to the left 3, up 5, and it's flipped downwards. But that's what you're saying. You're not drawing me a picture. You're saying where did it move? Left 3, up 5, and the negative sign flipped it or reflected it over the
Have
x-axis.
you had this for a long time? Is that why all the answers are on there?
Yeah, this summer I tried to make new copies of everything, and I forgot to do this one. So, oh well. All right, this one. What in the world does it want us to do? Why do I have this red graph? Use the vertex form to write the equation of the parabola. I don't know why I drew this extra graph. Anyway, so this one is to the left 2 and up 2. Does everybody see that?
Wait, is that black
The
mark
black
right
one.
there?
We're going by the black one. I must have given them a second example, so ignore the red graph. Does everybody see that the black parabola has moved to the left 2 and up 2?
Yes.
We do see that. So we would put plus 2 and plus 2. Does everybody agree with that?
Yes.
Plus 2 like.
Plus 2 and plus 2. So if you look at your answer choices, all right, I think
Wait, so is that black line that was already there?
the black line is the one we're going by. I'm about to explain why I did the red one, because I know why I did the red one now. Now with the answer choices. Okay, so I have x plus 2 and then the plus 2. Does everybody see that it's one of these two?
Yes.
Okay, so the next thing is, do we think,
Wait, what if it
Okay.
flips though?
Why?
but it doesn't, it's not flipped.
Because if it was flipped, it'd be
If
negative.
it was flipped, we would have a negative sign out front. Okay, now, okay, that's where I'm going next. One of them has a 3 and one of them has an understood 1. So look right here. Did we go up 1 and over 1, or did we go up 3 and over 1?
Up here.
We went up 3 and over 1. So which one's our answer? C. This is the red graph, is I was showing them, had I gone up 1 and over 1, that's what the parabola looked like. Now, it doesn't go up that much every time. It starts to just keep going out more and more. But the first, like from your vertex, that first point that you make from there, that was using the slope. From there it changes, okay?
Do some things for the structure.
Are we okay with that one?
Yeah.
Okay, sort of. The next one, number 7, two different ways to do this. You can graph it to find the vertex, or you can plug it in this formula. Emily, are you getting all this? Okay, you already know all this? Okay. So what way do y'all want to use, the formula, or do you want to use...
I don't care.
I'll put it in my calculator.
How about I do the formula first, and then I'll do the calculator? Okay? If we did x is negative b over 2a, I'll just put this here and write on it. What is my b? I'm going to write negative 8 over 2 times, what's my a? Negative 2.
Negative 4.
So yeah, I get a negative 8 over a negative 4. What is that?
Positive 2.
A positive 2. So my x value for my vertex, because see that's our x, is 2. Which one of those has an x value of 2?
B and D.
B and D. Now, my axis of symmetry is also my x value. What did I say my x value was?
It's going to be B.
It's 2. So it's B. This one wrote it wrong. That's my y value. I should have put my x value. So I can tell just by using the formula
So
what
we don't do
one,
anything with the 20?
my vertex. No. Now, if I graphed
Okay,
it,
now when we get our thing, it's going to be like some white numbers on it.
huh?
I said, and then when we get our quiz, there's going to be some white numbers all over it.
No. It's the same thing. Ask Jessie Kate. She just said that a little while ago. She was like, it's always just like it. Negative 2x squared plus 8x minus 20. Let's say that you wanted
Not a straight line.
to graph
Or like
that.
like this.
Mine didn't come on.
Okay.
It took
Let
a
me
minute.
let me zoom out.
This is
I don't
what it
know.
looks like.
I'm gonna zoom out. Well,
Just
that's
do it how we just
Look
did.
this way.
you got a piece of one. Plus 8x minus 20. I'm just trying to see.
Crystal.
Let's just take this from now.
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna go to from negative 50 to 50. I'm just gonna try this. And negative 50. Oops. To 50. I just made my window a lot bigger. Oh, there it is. I didn't even need to go to that big of a window. All right. All you have to do is you can just change, instead of going out 10 and out 10, I said, okay, let me just change all my values and let me go out 50. Okay, because maybe I need to go out further. So that's what I did. I went to my window, because that's a little window. Doesn't it look like a window? And you can say, okay, I'm going to go from negative 50 to 50, negative 50 to 50. It just made my window bigger. Now do you see the parabola?
Yeah.
I didn't really even need to go out that far. Okay, I probably could have put negative 25. Okay, so how do you find the vertex?
Go to your table.
Yeah, well, not your table, but your second trace, and then what?
Oh, yeah.
Was it a maximum or a minimum? It was a maximum. And then I'm going to go to the left, then I'm going to go to the right, then I'm going to go back to it. And what does it tell me that my vertex is? 2, negative 12. And that's your answer. 2, negative 12, and your x was 2. Okay, so you can do that several ways. Are we okay with that one?
2 negative 12. Or I got
Two.
1.9. But
Yeah, but you can see your answer choices that would be 2.
Will you write x equals negative b over 2a over 4?
I will write that. Okay, number 8. This one, what is the maximum or minimum? Oops, you can't see it. And what is the range? So you could use this formula. That's probably what I don't know if I would use that. We'll just graph it, because y'all need to learn this anyway. Let's just graph it. Go to y equals. What am I going to type in? Negative 2x squared plus...
What are you talking about?
I'm just putting y equals. Look, y equals. So I'm just typing this in, and that's a minus 10.
Oh, it's like graph?
Yeah, so I'm going to graph it, but you're not going to see it. I don't think you will.
So negative
Yeah, nope, I see a bit of it.
2.49.
Wait.
So negative 2x squared. No. Ignore my red numbers. Negative 2x squared plus 28x minus 10. Okay? So press graph. You might see mine.
Plus 28.
Some of it.
Oh, wait, yeah, I see it. but I see it on the big. How do I go back to the?
So I'm going to show y'all. Look at your answers. What kind of numbers do they have?
Big.
88.
I still
Large.
can't see it.
The same
Yeah.
number.
Okay.
This is
They
what
have.
Mom gives me.
Okay. Yes, you can't see the whole thing. The problem is they have numbers like 88. We always go to 10, right? Our little standard viewing window. I always tell you, do Zoom 6. It always takes you back from -10 to 10 and -10 to 10. If all your answers are way up and way out to 88, what numbers do you think you should go to? 100. Let's change them and go from -100 to 100 and -100 to 100. Let's make our window way bigger. So press window. Okay? Window, it's right next to y equals. And yours should say -10. But what did we say we're changing that to? -100. 100.
Barely see it.
-1, because it's at 88.
Do I have to change all of them to -100?
Well, no, probably not, but sometimes it's just easier.
Wait, so X max is -100?
X max is 100. That's a positive number.
And then Y
X-
min is.
Y min is -100. Y max is 100. Okay, now do you see your parabola? Yeah, so can you
Now
find,
we're on the graph.
well, we know it's a maximum, and y'all should know what it's at. It's at 88, right?
Oh, I see it.
So there's only one answer choice where it's a maximum of 88. And then they go ahead and find the range as well. What are your Y values? From 88 and down. So less than or equal to 88. But that's the only answer choice where it says a maximum of 88. Those both said minimums. Is it even a minimum? No. That one was a maximum way down at -88. That would have been way down here. Our maximum's at 88. Everybody good with that? Okay. Number 9. What is the graph of the equation? How would you graph that? Press y equals, and then x squared minus 4x plus 5. Now, when you press graph, it is going to be a very, very big window, which you can still see it
Oh,
fine.
I changed mine.
But you can always press Zoom 6. Zoom 6 always takes you back to the regular window, the standard window. Okay? Now, how do you find points? Second graph. And you kind of need to see, where does it look like your vertex is at? 2. It looks like we went over 2. So I'm going to go to my table to what?
2, 1.
2. There you go. So that's going to be my vertex point, and then here's my 2 points.
2, and
Yeah, so do the 2 points around it. 1, 2, and 3, 2. And does everybody see your parabola? Okay. How is this?
Is
Good.
it recording?
I hope so. Yes.
So find your point for a second graph, and then
So,
what next?
yeah.
Well, I'm going over it pretty thorough.
Oh, second
Oh, yeah.
trace, and then that's how we get our answer?
Yep. Normally I rush through
And that
because
is
we have more to do, but we don't.
That's a minimum.
That is a minimum, yeah. But you don't have to say any of that. Now, the next one, it says, I'm going to cover this. I'm going to try and cover some of this. What is the vertex form? And I gave you my answer. Oh, well, we'll just try and cover up some of it. What is the vertex form?
so we know number 10 OC.
Well, this is not the test, though. This is the review. What is the vertex form of the equation? Remember that's x minus h squared plus k. So you actually, huh? I will, yeah, I'll write that. So your x, have y'all gotten used to that? It's -b over 2a. Can y'all help me find that? Let's plug that in. -b over 2 times a. In this case, what is our b?
-2.
-2. I'll fix that in a second. Over 2 times, what's my a?
1.
An understood 1. So I end up getting 2 over 2, which is 1. So my x value, the one that goes with my x value, is 1. How do you find the y value or the k?
Plug it in.
Plug it in. So we would, I can't believe y'all remember all this. So we would have 1 squared minus 2 times 1 plus 8. Remember, I just put them right here. 1 squared minus 2 times 1 plus 8. So that's 1 minus 2 plus 8. What is that?
-9.
That's 9 minus 2, which is what? 7.
What?
So my, okay, 1 minus
1 minus 2 is negative 1
plus 8 is 7. Sorry, I did 1 plus, I did 1 plus 8 because that's so much easier. Was 9 minus 2 is 7. Sorry, it's just the way my brain works. All right, but I get the same answer as you, okay? All right, I was just trying to make it easier, but apparently,
Well, I was just kind of.
Just do 1 minus 2 plus 8.
yeah, okay, that works too. We still get 7. So you're dealing with the numbers 1 and 7. So look what they do. They put the numbers what? X minus 1 squared plus 7. All right. If there was a number in front of the x squared, then what would I put in front of this? That number. If that said 2x squared, what would I have in front of the parentheses? A 2. Does everybody understand that? Yes, no?
I'm tired. Can we take it?
Let me write those formulas on the board. That's all of them. Okay.
Really pretty outside.